Had a good day. You've had a good day so far. Good evening and welcome to our cybersecurity mentoring group session for Saturday, the 5th of April, 2025. Cybersecurity mentoring group is a platform where we share, we learn, and we connect with other professionals. Today, we've gotten a big fish in the house, and we will be going through something that I feel that a lot of people are struggling with, exactly trying to know where they should start from and where they should focus on. So sit back and relax, and hopefully you get something out of today's engagement. But before then, I would like to go through some rudiments that we often talk about before we introduce our guest. So this is CV Insights 2025, quarter one. The last I checked, of almost 13,000 CV have been published. CV is a common vulnerability and exposures. These are indicators of the threat that different vendors of products they face in the marketplace, and it's increasing. Quarter one alone, we've had over 12,000 vulnerabilities that have been published. When I did the calculation, it was running into 133 vulnerabilities per day. And you can understand the implication for cybersecurity professionals and IT generally that need to make sure their systems are not vulnerable to these vulnerabilities. I'm currently working on the analysis, and I should be done before the next class, where I will be sharing the insights from 2025 quarter one. The next item is our growth plan. And the beauty of this growth plan is that if you adopted it for quarter one, you probably will be thinking, yeah, this is what I did for quarter one. And what is the growth plan? Growth plan is something that can help you to plan your learning. You can look at the new courses you need to take, something new you want to learn, certification you need to write, and maybe webinars that you need to attend. And there are different topics. We came about this topic from the different jobs that we analyzed in 2024. So our publication, Cybersecurity, Sought After Cybersecurity Certification, Skills and Competencies. We identify the topics that, the topics and the domains that employers are looking to find people who have competencies in. And then we thought that if you put those things on your calendar to learn, they can actually increase your chances of getting a job in cybersecurity. So it's online. You can take a screenshot and create your own. It's just for you to be able to track what are you learning, what are you doing in 2025. For Cybersecurity Mentoring Group, our own is to make sure that we hold session twice in a month. And also there are other plans that we are working on, and one of them we started today. So there are a lot of things that we are using to make sure that we invest in the quarters, and we invest in every day learning and improving ourselves. So today we will be discussing cybersecurity specializations, and we want to talk about finding and choosing your niche. Now remember that this is not finding any other person's niche. It's your own, meaning that you are different from everybody. You are different from the other person. So you don't have to do what other people are doing. What we want to do today is to explore this field, this vast field of cybersecurity, and see from threat intelligence to governance, penetration testing to cloud security. There are different roles for every type of skill set and personality. But with so many options, it can be overwhelming to be able to pick an area that you truly fit. So our conversation today is designed to help both newcomers and people that are already in the field to navigate the changing landscape of cybersecurity specializations. So whether you are transitioning or looking forward to transitioning into cybersecurity field from another field, or you are seeking to refine your current focus, this session, I believe, will help you to explore and how to discover your strength, help you to also align with industry needs, because you don't want to be specialized in something that the industry does not need. So this session hopes to help you to be able to align your specialization, your niche area with a rewarding industry. We are joined today by Sodiq, and it was when I was trying to reach out that I saw that myself and Sodiq had an encounter in 2018 or 2017. And so Sodiq has chatted me and I responded to that chat. So when I was looking for someone to invite and I put in some search on LinkedIn and Sodiq name came up and I clicked on it to send him a message. The message he sent to me before showed up on my message chat and I was like, wow. So if Sodiq had sent me a message then and I ignored him totally, it would be very difficult now to just start a conversation with him, seeing that I did not respond to his chat. So one thing I got out of that is that please respond to your messages because you never can tell. This was probably 7 years ago that he chatted me and I responded, right? So if you get a chat, no matter what you think, no matter the position you are in, please respond to your chat because you never can tell what tomorrow brings. Now, I'm happy to introduce Sodiq. I won't provide a lot of information. I will have him take the floor and also maybe speak more on some things that I'm not familiar with or not aware of. But the thing I will bring out of what I have seen of Sodiq is, in fact, we had a chat before the session and he was talking to me about his mentoring program. So Sodiq is already doing something in this field, and I'm sure that some of his mentees may be on the call. Sodiq is the Chief Information Security Officer and a data protection officer with Lotus Bank. That's the shortest I will give about him, but I would open up the mic to welcome Sodiq and to have him, introduce himself and give us as much information as possible. We would like to meet him. Hi, Sodiq.
Hi, Wally. Thanks for having me. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
We can hear you. I can hear you too.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. Thanks once again, Wally. I'm happy to be here. It's a pleasure meeting everyone on the call today. Like you said, I've been in the cybersecurity space going into 2 decades now. I started my career off as a consultant in a very small space back then. One thing which I would like to mention first, so as to be a message of hope and inspiration for upcomers that are trying to come into the space, is that I did not study anything tech. I was never in science class or whatever. I studied accounting. But one thing that got me into where I am today, and then which I'm also still using to get to where I want to get to eventually, is the zeal, because I started off studying accounting back in school, but while I was doing the accounting, I was fully doing tech on the side. In terms of empowering myself when it comes to practical things, knowledge areas, and also some basic qualifications in the area of tech and cybersecurity. So having said that, since I started off my career, I've been doing practical things and also going into certification process and also engaging in the community of the cybersecurity space. I started my career off back in the consulting firm, then moving into banking. I've had experience in banking, telecoms and consulting. One of the major things I've done as part of my giving back into the community is having a mentorship program with different organizations and also having a personal mentorship arrangement with few of the guys out there. I have a couple of certifications around the space. Some I can't even remember for now, but the major ones I can still recollect are talking about the Certified Information Security System Professional, that's CISSP, and the Certified Information Security Manager, Certified Pen Testing Professional, and then I've also had certification around the Information System Risk and Control, and also certified in the network security processes. Then also I've had a couple of other certification in terms of API security and the rest of them. Given that my personal zeal in the area of getting knowledge and academic function, I partner with a couple of institutions. I have a partner with Lagos State, University of Lagos rather, in terms of in the area of data protection and privacy training for students running some cybersecurity programs and data protection programs, and also training in some cybersecurity space for them. And also I function as an external supervisor for students doing tech and cybersecurity for a university in South Africa. And also I also partner with the university in US, which happens to give me an award based on my contribution to their students and their institution as an honorary doctorate. That was last year. So I also partner with them in some academic programs in terms of research, in terms of projects and the rest of them. So currently, like Wale said, I'm been in the Lotus Bank for more than 1.5 years now. Taking charge of the cybersecurity function in terms of planning, strategy, implementation, operation, and management of the cybersecurity function and the data protection practices in the bank. So I would like to stop here. Thank you, Wale.
Thank you. I should be calling you a doctor. Thank you for the intro, giving us content. I think the first thing that jumped at me, which I believe that our audience would appreciate, is that you studied accounting and you've been able to navigate that space to becoming a voice in cybersecurity. So I guess it gives a lot of people on the call some hope around, yeah, I'm not in a bad place, because having not been a science student, a lot of people think that cybersecurity is a no-go area. But thank you for giving that inspiration. My first question is around what I would call the different, there are different specialization, as people often will say. I just want you to help us to understand the different specializations that are out there that you think people should be aware of.
Okay, thank you, Wale. In the cybersecurity space, there are a couple of specializations that are out there, but even though some of these specializations still have specializations within them. But let's take it from the first level before we go to the higher level. So one of the space you can see specialization in cybersecurity is talking about network security. And then also you look into identity and access security. Then you have security architecture and engineering. For example, in security architecture and engineering, you will see things like cloud security, infrastructure security, operational technology security, and the rest of them. Then also we have something we call asset security. Then there is also security, governance, risk, and compliance. Governance, risk, and compliance are the people that ensures in terms of security policy documentation, procedure design, SOP design, audit activities, audit of security processes, and the rest of them. Then we have security assessment and testing. Security assessment and testing, you will see people in area of pen testing coming into place here. And also you see people that ethical hacking coming into place in this area as well. This where you also see people like API testers, because you can see penetration testers, but there are different scope of penetration testing as well, because in penetration testing, you have web application penetration testing, you have mobile application penetration testing, you have API penetration testing, and the rest of them. Then also in the area of specialization, you can see security operations. Security operations basically covers when it talks about forensics, incident handling, incident response, and you have what we call purple teaming, then threat intelligence, cyber threat hunting. I think these are some of the broad areas in the specializations for cybersecurity. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much. I think it appears you may have spoken into a second question, which is getting into, I know that you mentioned that even within specializations, there are deeper specialization. And I just wanted to maybe ask in terms of if you could buttress, so you've mentioned red teaming, blue teaming, or purple teaming. If you could help us maybe identify two or three specialization and where they will fit into that teaming coloring. For instance, where would the GRC, for instance, fit in? Is it a red? Is it blue? Is it purple? And if you also could provide some context around this coloring of a blue team, red team, and a purple team.
Okay, thank you, Wale. I will pick it from the last part. So when you say blue team, red team, purple team, basically the red team guys are responsible in finding the gaps. So when you say people like ethical hackers, penetration testers, and all of that, so they are there, they are consistently checking to find the loopholes you have within the system, within people. It could be within people, it could be within process, it could be within technology. Then when you talk about the blue team guys, the blue team guys are consistently putting into defense and making sure that there are no loopholes. So the blue team guys, they are consistently checking what are the gaps in the system. Let me block them. Let me block the holes. So it's just like you in the house, you are blocking the holes of where rats and all of that can come into the house. So when you now talk about the purple team, in simple terms, purple team is the combination of the two, of the red and the blue team. So the red team and the blue team coming together, working together as one team is what we usually refer to as a purple team. Oftentimes you will see purple team within the SOC function within organizations. And then you will see red team within the security testing team. Then you will see blue team as a standalone. Sometimes you see them within the SOC, and also sometimes you see them within the areas around governance and assessment. Then you'll see them around the area of network security and asset security and identity and access security team. So these are where these teams they fall into in terms of categorizations.
Thank you. I think this is quite clear. So the blue team essentially are like our defender, while the red team are like our attackers.
Yes.
Yeah, and the purple team are those guys that are saying, attacker, don't be, or defender, don't be angry that they have found a hole in your system. It is just to make sure that we are strong together. I think this is very good perspective. The next question is around what should be the driving. So someone wants to know what specialization they should go for. So what should be the driving force? What should actually guide you in determining that this is the area I should focus on?
Thank you, Wale. When you look at cybersecurity, for specializations, there are key driving forces. Selecting a specialization in cybersecurity should naturally be driven by a combination of your personal interest, industry demand, your skill set alignment, and long-term career goals. Yes, long-term career goals, then all of these in combination should determine what your decision will be in terms of specialization. And then these factors, they are like, okay, for example, number one, your passion and interest. When you talk about passion and interest, because there are so many domains in cybersecurity, so you should look your passion as a person. So are you somebody that love in terms of enjoy playing with things and looking for faults? If you are the type that personally in your own personal identity as a person, do you like looking for faults in things? So if you like looking for faults in things, something like a penetration testing will probably fall in line for you. Also, under personal interest, do you enjoy investigating issues when there are issues? If you love investigating issues, then something around security assessment and testing, and then that digital forensics, and then things like also in penetration testing can also be a strong fit for you if you have that in your personality. And then also for somebody that do not like things getting broken, always like fixing things. If you are the type that you like fixing things, something around blue teaming, like for example, network security, cloud security, identity and access management security, they will naturally fall in line for you in terms of personal passion and interest in area of personality. But when you now look at industry demand as a driving force, industry demand, if you look at the market trend today, as we speak today, if you notice the trend is that things are going into virtualization, things are going into cloud, things are going into API and the rest of them. So when you infer from personality traits and you want to combine it with industry demand. So industry demand and market trend, if you are the type that you like looking for fault in things, then you should be looking at, okay, based on industry demand, industry is moving into API. Everything is all about API now. Then that means I should focus on as an API tester and the rest of them. Then also, for example, now, if you also look at industry demand at the same time, there are some gap areas. When you do your analysis in the industry, where are the specialization gaps? That one should also be a driving force. Then also, you need to also understand your immediate market. Where do you want to apply your skill set? So in some markets today, if you look at some certain markets around the world, let's say, for example, in the US or the Canada, they have the certain kinds of skill sets that are scarce there. In certain markets like, let's say, for example, India, if you are planning to apply your trade in India, issues around a SOC analyst it's not an issue for them. The issues they have in those environments, probably looking at digital forensics people, they are looking at into in-depth penetration testers in those environments. So those are the forces that you'll be looking at in terms of determining your specialization. Then also, when you look at your skills and background, your background also can be a factor in terms of the driving force. Let's say, for example, if you studied engineering back in school, you probably work easily with networking and network security. And if you also studied things around computer engineering back in school, you probably find it easy to be an infrastructure person Then, so these are some of the things that can also determine your skill set. And also in your experience, in your background, if you already know how to code, maybe you can write some code, then something around DevSecOps, which is development operations, can be a driving force for you in terms of your background area. Then also when you look at career longevity also can determine your driving force. There are some careers in cybersecurity that you cannot live with them for long. So I give you an example. As a pen tester, pen testing requires a lot of concentration, continuous research. I usually term it as a function for people that are still in the early stage of their career. Because when you move into your 40s, when you start having children and the rest of them, you cannot have that level of concentration again. So you rather be a lead technical person and the rest of them. So you should also consider that when you look at career longevity. Then also you can also consider in terms of what is your personal focus, what is your personal focus area, and what you are trying to do. So these are some of the things that should be your driving force. And it's not also a big deal for you if you want to pick, if you want a driving force that will serve you. Maybe you have a driving force for immediate term, a short term, medium term, and a long term as well. So these are some of the things I would like to say. Thanks.
Thank you for, I think I like the way you've laid it out. Personal interest, industry demand, skill set or background, and long-term career goal. 4 very important points. One thing really that maybe somebody may have that question is, you didn't mention money. Because some people said that cybersecurity is where they are minting money, but the 40s you mentioned now, maybe they are hidden somewhere. Can you help, maybe just help us understand why money didn't come up on the list?
Okay, thanks, Wally. So if you noticed my second point in terms of driving force, that is where the money is. The industry demand and market trend. There is no way there is a demand for something in the industry, or the market is trending towards an area and it won't be making money. So it's an area that when you are looking for money, you have to also look at what is the market saying, who are the people the market needs. Like today in Nigeria, security people, organizations are looking for security people like anyhow. But yet you notice that some of them, they still don't want to pay much, but the ones that are ready to pay, they are also out there. So that is, you need to look at that.
I thank you for drawing it out. I think you still give hope to people that are looking that are thinking that cybersecurity will make money. So it is industry demand that will,
yeah.
I think that you're right, actually, because if the industry is demanding for that specialization, it means that they are willing to
Pay
put
for
their pay for it. Yeah. My next question is, so someone has probably now decided that, well, I'm a fault finder. I like to find faults, and maybe I should go into penetration testing. And I want you to just help someone who has made that decision based on what you have described now. Though I studied engineering, maybe I should just explore infrastructure. How can they take that next step in terms of improving their competencies in the area they have chosen as their focus area?
Okay, thanks, Wally. It's a very good question, because a lot of people want to come into cybersecurity without thinking it through in what I'm going to say now. So when you look at coming into cybersecurity, people think, let me just go and get certification, or they want to do a shortcut, like, okay, let me just go for 2 weeks boot camp. Some people do it. but that is not it. So two weeks boot camps will not do it. So when you look at the showing competency, one of the first thing, if I have chosen to be a pen tester, you need to gain hands-on experience. So what are the things that you need to do for you to have hands-on experience? You need to have your own personal lab. As a pen tester, if you can't say you are a pen tester, you don't have a personal lab that it's more like your home playground that you test things for fun. So you should have a personal lab, set up a virtual lab, your virtual machines, you have Kali Linux, you have Metasploit, you have SIM tools, and the rest of them in your lab. So think of tools that pen testers can use in this world. You have them in your lab. So if something you want to try out, you can do it from your system. Then also, part of the hands-on experience is that you need to participate in some programs and community programs that go on out there in terms of pen testing. So for example, you have a program that goes on, they call it Capture the Flag, CTF. CTF challenges, they help you to check your competency in terms of practical competencies. So if you are able to participate in those areas and you come out victorious to a certain level, because in CTF there are levels. Then also you have platforms like Act the Box. You need to participate in areas like Act the Box. You also need to consider areas like Try Acme and the rest of them. Then also there are bug bounty programs. Bug bounty programs simply means that you look at the gaps. You know, when you remember pen testers, as a pen tester, you are looking for faults. So you take your time at your free will without anybody giving you the job. You look at the faults. Somebody like me started off in my career, I look at faults around things. And I still do it today. Though I'm not fully into pen testing anymore, but I just, as a fun, when you give me whatever, maybe anything that is tech, when I start looking at it, I'm looking for the faults. What are the gaps in it? So as a natural person, you want to be a pen tester, part of competency is that you should be exploring the faults in whatever you come with, especially when it comes to people, human beings, even though human beings. So today I still do it. You can see me going in traffic. You see me going in traffic and picking people password inside traffic and people's pin, phone pin, and all of that. So I did it for a couple of people. I told them that I can unlock your phone. They'll say no. That how their phone is passworded, and I'll collect it and I'll unlock it for them. They'll be wondering like, how did you do it? Meanwhile, I've should have shoved them while they were unlocking their phone at the time. So these are the things that you need to get into in terms of showing you how smart you have become in terms of the area you are trying to focus on. So programs like bug bounty that test your real competencies. An example of a bug bounty program is HackerOne. You have a bug crowd as well that you can participate in. Then also another area you can show competency in terms of gaining hands-on experience now is putting in for internship. Internship, yeah, don't look at whether they are going to pay you or not. Put in for internship and also do a free will proposal to participate in other people's projects. You will see people, you need to visit some communities of cybersecurity professionals. They are working on a project in terms of finding a fault in a particular system. So you offer to also participate to contribute. From there, you gain more competence and also you contribute your own competence. And when that project becomes a success, then you will be part of the success story. And when people know that, okay, you were part of the people that did this particular project, it shows a competence for you. And it can also, you can also share it and do whatever on different platforms and all of that. Then when you now gain all of this competence, then this competence, you need to now back it up with certifications, but not anyhow certifications. You need to make use of practical and technical certifications in your portfolio. So you need to build all those portfolios in terms of certification. Examples of certifications for people that are upcoming, you can do EC Council CEH, you can do OSWP and the rest of them. You can do CPT and the rest of them. So for pen, those are for pen testers, people that are upcoming from pen testers. Advanced certifications, you are looking at OSCE, OSCP, and the rest of them. So when you have done all of this, then you also need to move up in terms of contributing into the cybersecurity community. So, for example, you have gained hands-on experience, you have had certifications, then you also need to show competence by contributing to the cybersecurity community. How do you contribute? You can do some write-ups, you can contribute to research papers. Like today, I contribute to data protection and privacy papers and journals. I review journals for African Journal Institute on data protection. So I do peer reviews and all of that. So those are the things you need to do. You need to write maybe a short blog or a research paper on something, not going to copy somebody. Don't go and copy somebody, but you must write something that is genuine about you, that can be attributed to you. Then also, if you know you have gained adequate competence and confidence about your skill set, you should also consider participating in some events like a DEF CON, like Black Art, like OWASP. So participate, go for those events if you can afford to. Then also, you can also make contribution on GitHub and also some other forums like Discord. There's Discord, there's Slack, and all of that. And then also you need to also have continuous learning, because when you have gained experience and certification, it doesn't stop there. Cybersecurity is a space whereby you need to be learning every second. Every second you need to be picking up and be picking up. Then also at the same time, while you are developing your competence, you need to get a mentor. You need to network with people, also find a mentor, especially find a mentor in a space that you have that particular zeal or interest, or a space that you are trying to move into. Maybe you want to shift from, let's say, from a pen testing to security governance and all of that. So you need to find a mentor and network with people. Always be in the community of people. Let your WhatsApp be filled with cybersecurity professionals, your LinkedIn, and all of that. So those are the things you need to do to show competence. Thank you.
Wow, thanks a lot, Sadiq. I think I have my note full, and I will go now. So I believe that we've been able to lay the foundation for finding and choosing. So when you find a particular, you choose a particular niche, you need to develop competence in that field niche, and you have actually itemized where people can get that. I think the idea that you need your own lab is very, very important. In fact, I was telling someone that you need to get a very good system, very good system that can, in then we used to have virtual machines. I remember then I have Microsoft Windows SP, and I think maybe, Windows SP and Linux that I have on my virtual machine when I was practicing my system administration, MCSA in Microsoft. So that's very, very important. And thank you for mentioning those Metasploitable, Kali Linux, and those other tools that you mentioned. And there are different platforms: Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, Bug Bounty, HackerOne, Bug Crowd. There's so much to go over on this that you have provided. Now the next question is around hiring cybersecurity professional. So it's one thing that you would, you can have certification, you may have tried some of these things, and I just want to pick your brain from the perspective of, if you are to hire a cybersecurity professional today, if you would want to prioritize 5 qualities, what are those qualities you'll be looking for? Maybe it's a new person in cybersecurity, or is an experienced ant. What are those qualities you'll be looking forward to?
Thanks, Wale, for this question also, because it's also a question that a couple of top cybersecurity professionals, they don't tend to handle the way I think it should be handled. So, for example, if I were to hire a cybersecurity professional or specialist today, I would look in for a combination of technical expertise and soft skills. And why am I doing this? I'm doing this to ensure that the person I'm choosing can handle both the technical and strategic aspect of cybersecurity. So if I'm to talk about these skills, when you look at technical expertise, I'll be looking for somebody that has technical proficiency in problem solving. So I'll be combining technical proficiency in problem solving. Is it a person that has technical capacity in network security, that understand how network works? Is this a person that has how threat functions, what are the attacks, what does the attack landscape and the attack trend, how does it go? When an attack is coming, how do they graduate into compromise? And is it somebody that understands what are exploitable vulnerability and unexploitable vulnerability? Is it somebody that understands what an IDS does and IPS does and the rest of them? And then so the technical things that can showcase this is maybe somebody that has an OSCP, that's Offensive Security Certified Professional, or maybe for the upcomers, maybe CEH, or AWS Security Specialty. AWS Security Specialty validates your capabilities in understanding AWS Cloud, how to secure AWS Cloud. So, and I will also be looking at, is this person hands-on in terms of lab? So you can't tell me like you're a network engineer or you understand networking and you can't explain the OSI layer from layer 1 to 7 and the rest of them. So you can't tell me that. So some of these things, then when I move from this technical perspective, I look into what are the critical thinking and analytical mindset for this person. Is this person thinking like an attacker? Because for a typical cybersecurity person, the main function is to make sure that the system or the process or the technology or policies cannot be compromised. In as much as, yes, you have hackers within cybersecurity people, but the main focus of the hackers within the cybersecurity team is to make sure that I find out how an hacker can penetrate, then I can block that area. So is this person thinking like an hacker? Is this person thinking of what a breach can translate to? So for example, in a bank, a simple mistake in a bank can cause the bank billions, losing billions within few minutes. So I'm taking a lot of that. Then what are the behavioral traits of this person? So behavioral traits is that, for example, in cybersecurity, you get exposed into so many sensitive things. So you get to see things that things that can be very funny about people, about systems and the rest of them. This kind of person the person that can be very, very confidential, or somebody that is unnecessarily lousy and all of that. Then also you'll be looking at communication skills. A lot of times you see people, I still face that with some of my guys out there. They'll talk to you. A lot of time they use implied terms. So communication skills is very, very important. How does this person speak? Are they just speaking in, somebody will tell you that they are communicating with you. You say, okay, it's an issue on the port 443. Like, okay, well, I understand what you meant, but you need to communicate and make everybody understand. So you can't just be communicating as if you're talking to some kind of techie everybody at every point in time. Then collaboration skills. Collaboration skills is very, very important in terms of how do these people collaborate, because in cybersecurity, you tend to see people in a team of information security or cybersecurity team, you tend to see people working in isolation. But in cybersecurity, collaboration is very, very important, because without collaboration, you cannot achieve the defense, because the function of cybersecurity within every organization is to defend the organization. So collaboration is very, very key. So I'll be looking at that as well. Then also one of the major things I'll be looking at from anybody I'll be hiring is that what is their level of adaptability? How can they adapt? Is it somebody that is so rigid, or somebody that you can flip? So flipping them into learning into new things, and also checking into what is their level of continuous learning. Continuous learning, so is this somebody that just got one certification and has been sitting on that? Yes, you don't need to have 1,000 certification, but if you have one certification, but you have been doing something else, there are other things you can showcase without certification to show that you are continuously learning and you are owning your skills at every point in time. So these are some of the major things I'll be looking at when I'm going to do a hiring in terms of cybersecurity.
I think you have given us enough expo, and yeah, I have them, and I like the fact that you did not just mention the technical aspects, because some people know a lot, but they don't know how to work with other people. and they fight with IT. Meanwhile, security sits on IT. So thank you very much for those listening. Now, speaking to our community here, we're a group, and as I shared with you earlier, we did a survey last week, and the question I asked in the group was that how many of you are in cyber role, how many in IT role, and how many are not in any of those two. So out of about 59 people that responded to that question, 17 say they are in cyber role. I think 19 says they are in IT role, and 23 or so say they are in non-IT and non-cyber role. So a combination of our community, we have more people that are not in cyber role, that are thinking of, getting into cyber. And I just want you to provide some kind of advice in terms of, for people who are not in cyber but are looking for opportunity in cyber, how can they go about it? What steps can they take to go after, getting into their area? That's the first part. The second part are people who are doing, for instance, they are in GRC and they want to move into network security, or they are in IT operations, or security operations, and they think that they have a path in penetration testing. How can they navigate that decision?
Okay, thank you, Wale. This is another important question. Cybersecurity is a high demanding profession, and then the impact is also very high. So, and it has many entry points. But coming into cybersecurity afresh, or maybe as a fresher, or maybe you have some kind of experience, whichever of the paths you are trying to come in, you should have understanding of the basics. So you need to build very good foundation. So for example, you need to understand networking, because networking is one of the major, if not the major, it's one of the major backbone for cybersecurity. Then also operating systems. You need to understand how operating system functions. Then also you need to understand when you talk about cryptography, authentication process, and the rest of them. So in terms of networking, you need to understand what you know about TCP. When you talk about TCP, you talk about you also talk about firewalls, talk about virtual private network, that's VPNs, IDS, that's intrusion detection systems, and also intrusion prevention system. You need to understand all of this around networking. Then you also need to master the OSI layer. The OSI layer, you need to understand what are the kind of possible threats that applies to each of the layer. Then what are the kind of mitigations that can be implemented to manage each of the layers. And then also for somebody that maybe you're already in this space, but you want to transit into another role, what you need to do is you also need to have some basic understanding of the role you're trying to transit in. If it's a practical role, you need to start having hands-on experience around that role. Hands-on experience, for example, you are in an application security or you are in software security and you are trying to transit into penetration tester. As a penetration tester, first of all, you need to start having your own lab. You need to start the way developers, they will have their own development environment. You need to have your own lab. You need to learn some bit of coding. You need to understand some programming language, how the different, what are the major concerns for each of the programming language. Then you need to now say, okay, if I'm going into mobile pen testing, am I going to mobile pen testing or API pen testing? If it is API pen testing, okay, how do API works? You need to understand how API are being written and the rest of them. Also, you also now, that particular space you are trying to move into, you need to work into getting a certification to boost your credibility for that role. So if you're moving into a particular role, you need to do a certification. Maybe you are trying to move into network security. You need to get a certification in the network security to claim and to also showcase your competence in terms of practical competence in that particular area. Then also, you need to also now start building your portfolio and contribute specifically based on that role you are pursuing, that role you are trying to transit to. You need to start participating and contributing in the community of discussion, community of forum and forum that are talking about it, maybe in GitHub, maybe in blogs, maybe in the social media and the rest of them. So you also need to now network. You need to network with people specifically in that space. In that space, there are people that are already doing that function you're trying to transit to. So start networking with them and also start looking into applying for roles that are not too competitive in that space you are trying to transit to. Because if you go for the competitive roles, you will most likely have lesser chance. But when you go for the less competitive roles in those environments, you are likely to have a better chance in terms of getting there. Because once you have that role, then you are breaking into. You are breaking into that particular role you're trying to transition. Then as a final thought, the best strategy in terms of getting into cybersecurity for anybody that is trying to come in, you need to learn the fundamentals of cybersecurity, just get hands-on experience. Like I said earlier, just earn a relevant certification. An example of certification that are easy to get today for you to showcase that, okay, for somebody that is not experienced, you are just coming to come to cybersecurity. The basics, you are looking at CompTIA Security Plus, you are looking at certified in cybersecurity from ISC2, you are looking at CEH, that from EC Council, certified ethical hacker from EC Council. You are looking at cybersecurity operations and cybersecurity fundamentals from ISACA. Then also you need to build a public profile for your transition into cybersecurity. So you need to let your public profile, because it is what people know about you. That is the mindset they will have about you. So you need to build a public profile of you about cybersecurity. Then you also need to also network with people in that space and also find people that are going to be like a sponsor for you. Because when people want to get somebody for a cybersecurity function, you have better chances when people that are forces and voice in that space when they say when they recommend you. So that recommendation we almost like do 50% of the job for you. So I would like to stop here for now.
Thank you so much, Sodiq. I was actually smiling when you were talking because in our group today, the last point you made was what actually I posted in our group today. I was telling them that in cybersecurity, sometimes a recommendation can open doors for you more than even your certification. Because the certification you are presenting, probably a lot of people also have it. But if somebody
Yes,
can
exactly.
speak, somebody can speak for you, and people cannot speak for you from from anywhere. They have to have an idea of your contribution and your participation in the field. And thank you for reiterating that point. Thank you for also, listing the cybersecurity certifications. I think I was able to get for people that are new, CompTIA security, CC from ISC to CH, cybersecurity certification, the foundation one from ISAC. I think for people that are new, they can look for those cybersecurity. And I like the idea of building a public profile. You need to present yourself as someone in that field. Don't let your profile read something, and don't let it be blank. People come to your profile and they can't see anything that points to the fact that you are in cybersecurity. I think that's our last question. I will just open the floor so please, if you have any question for Sodiq, drop it in the chat as I go through the other activities that we have on our list. I think we should be done in the next 5 minutes or so. Let me go through other things I have there. Today we started our exploring Microsoft certification parts for cybersecurity professional. What we're actually doing is helping people who want to have some technical hands-on experience of some of the tools that Microsoft provides to gain that experience. Now, we started this session because from the publications that were made last year. So if you look at my background, you will see two publications maybe on your left or on the right. But the lower one is this sought after cybersecurity competencies and certifications. In that publication, we listed about 25 cybersecurity tools. The top 5 of them, if I can still remember, Microsoft appeared on the top. Three of the tools are Microsoft. The first one is a Microsoft Defender. The second one is Splunk. The third one is Sentinel, Microsoft Sentinel. The fourth one is Active Directory, and the first one, Active Directory, which is Entra ID now, and the last one is Nessus. So out of the top 5 tools, Microsoft has 3. And Microsoft actually has 25% of the cybersecurity market or the security market. So there's no organization today that is not using Microsoft. And therefore, we think that it will be very good if you can at least have a foundation in Microsoft. So we started today. We have another session on Thursday. And by that Thursday, we will close the door because we are then going to put people in groups where they can then be assigned projects as our lead facilitator take them through live hands-on experience on those things. On the right-hand side is some of the publications that we make. We have a volunteer that is helping develop content. And so if you are interested in contributing to some of these, please reach out to me. This is one area you can contribute. For some of the things that you are learning, you can also be sharing with people. So today we've successfully host our guest. So today is green. Next one, I'm up right now. Once I finish the session, is to make contact with our next guest to plan for the next edition. All of this recording, including the one we had earlier in the morning, will be uploaded on the YouTube channel and also our LinkedIn group. We are asking for you to contribute, create content to show that you are, making contribution to the industry. One thing about cybersecurity, because it is vast, there's a lot of things. You can start your own name. You can create a digital footprint. Something I did last year was there was an AI tool that that helps you to curate everything you did in a year and will tell you what exactly you are known for. That tool can help you actually put you out there in terms of who you are, your profile. So if you look at your TL now, if you are not seeing anything that you're doing, it means that Q1 you haven't done much in cybersecurity. And thankfully, we're just starting Q2. Q3 is there, Q4 is there. What can you do for yourself on your profile that can show that you are interested in the field that you say you want to go into? Now, I will just, because of time, I'll just read the question there. Say, question from one of the attendees says, where can someone transition into tech? Where can someone transition into tech, find entry-level cybersecurity roles after obtaining basic certifications? Yeah, Sadiq, there's a question. Where can someone find entry-level roles?
Thanks for that. I think this is a very good question for all of us trying to come into the cybersecurity function. A couple of times we try to get into cybersecurity into big organizations, but these entry-level roles that we should consider, they have within all these consulting environments. So consulting environments, they are a very good startup ground for people that have the zeal and that have this basic certification in cybersecurity. And when I said consulting, I'm not talking about a big consulting outfit out there. So I don't know if it's possible to mention specific names, but
please go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thanks. So some of the consulting outfit out there, you will see them that they do pen testing, they do consultation and the rest of them for several organizations. And they are most of the time, they are not well staffed because they are always having staff attrition. So they are always looking out. So if they see you that you already have some good qualifications, and then also some practical experience and also understanding, then the zeal is there for you, they will take you. So for example, you look at places like Digital Encode, you look at places like you have Digital Encode, you have Digital Jewels, you have you have cyber immune, you have cyberspace, you have technology, and the rest of them. All these environments, I can list a couple, but I'm trying to remember their names now. They have SPL Consulting, and maybe when I can share more with you, Wale, to share with the team. So those are the ones I can remember right now, but there are a lot of them out there that they are in the space. They are looking for people that have the skill that they can bring in. And once you get into this environment, I tell you what, just do 1 or 2 years with them. You will get into the mainstream. So that's my advice. Thanks.
Thank you so much. The other question on the chart is someone that is trying to, let me see now, how does one build a good public profile? That's one question. And is there a template that, so if someone wants to say, oh, from what I've been said now, I need to build a public profile, are there thoughts in terms of what they can do? And are there recommendations that you can give for building your profile?
Okay. Building a public profile is simply talking that your profile should talk about what you are doing specifically. So, and also let it showcase your qualifications, your certifications, your projects, the project you have done, the things you are working on. Then in that your profile, whatever you are doing that you know it is valuable, always share it and create a discussion around it and have connection to people in the space that you have. So in your space, you should not have minimum, not less than 500 people connected to you in that space of what you do specifically. So people that will combine people that are upcomers and also people that are already established and people that are also leaders in that space, try to gather them to get connected to them. If you are not following them, you are doing them and all of that. And anywhere you see those people, maybe they are having one thing or the other, make sure that you are also participating and also you are showcasing it in your profile that, okay, you attended this yesterday and this was the insight. You talk about what you gain. You talk about how you are applying it. So when you put all of these things on your LinkedIn profile, you talk about them and you have any project that you are currently working on that is nice or something you have discovered, you share it. When you share it, you reference them, you talk about them, you hashtag people, and then some of these things, you do them deliberately. So this will create the necessary things for your profile. In terms of templates, I don't think there is a one template that fits all, but when you adopt some of these things I've mentioned, and you also bring in your own initiatives into how you want to run, then I believe you should be fine. But there is no one size fits all templates that can really recommend that, because it's the space based on what you do, it can be dynamic.
All right, I think you've done excellently well in terms of the questions you've answered. I think there's nothing more to add. Thank you so much, Sodiq, and I appreciate your contribution to the community today, and also the ones that we discussed that we'll take forward in our private chat. Thanks everyone for joining today. I'm hoping that you will make some contribution, especially in the LinkedIn group, because that's our close group, and try to build your profile from that space. In fact, attending this session alone, you could go there to maybe share some thoughts on the things that you have learned, and let's put our work out there and don't wink in the dark, because you need to be noticed, especially where there's a lot of information happening or a lot of things happening in cybersecurity. All right, we will see you again. We will catch up on Thursday. I'm going to share the flyer and put a link, maybe our last link for people to register and then attend once we have Thursdays, and we'll close the door. And as the session runs from Thursday to another one on Saturday. All right, everyone, have a good weekend, and see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.